This is a 10-second exposure of Messier 22, and I've left it running for a while. Right now it's stacked 5 times and has ignored one, and all the stars look perfectly round. I can give you some data on Messier 22. I do believe I've already covered it as an NGC. But as a Messier, it's a globular cluster in Sagittarius, the brightest one from the northern hemisphere, 5.2, 24 arc minutes in size, so about the largest two, right there with Messier 13. 10,400 light years distant, which explains it. Right ascension, 18 hours, 36 minutes, 24 seconds. Declination, minus 23 degrees, 54 minutes, and 12 seconds. A very nice view. Let's move on to the NGC 6800 to 6900 series of studies that will be selected for me, typically between the sky's middle third up to the point where the roof tries block it, but also deep south if something of interest such as Messier 22 pops its head up. Okay, here we have NGC 6809, otherwise known as Messier 55. Deep south, 6.3 magnitude, fairly bright. 19 arc minutes in size, quite large. Brightest stars are magnitude 11.2. That should tell you it's pretty close. It's a class 11, 17,000 light years distant. We're at right ascension 1939, 59, and our declination is typically out of our zone, but we have a very good night of seeing down south tonight. I want to point out that all these studies are culminating. It's 8:13 p.m. and they're tipping the scales now, just about ready to head west for the rest of the evening and west overall as we exit the summer season. NGC 6809, 19 hours, 39 minutes, 59 seconds with a declination of minus 30 degrees, 57 minutes, 44 seconds. Okay, I picked out our next study because it was Mysterioso. It's an NGC 6813 and just described as a nebula and vulpecula. 3 arc minutes in size, elliptical. Now, what'd be fun about this one is to get a sense of what its brightness is, cumulative. It might be a nice exercise to do. If it's 3 arc minutes in size and it's showing up as well as what I would consider a 14th magnitude galaxy, you should be able to calculate, and maybe I will too, the average surface brightness of this nebulosity. Now let's go ahead and zoom in a bit. Does kind of look like a 14th magnitude type galaxy. There are a couple of stars involved, but we're interested in the nebulosity around it. So that's our view of NGC 6813 in Vulpecula, an emissive nebula, 3 arc minutes in size, right ascension 1940-22 with a declination of plus 27 degrees, 18 minutes, 33 seconds. Well, this is going to be a fun one. This is NGC 6814, a galaxy in Aquila. It's a magnitude 11.2. 3.5 by 3.5 arc minutes, which means it probably has an average surface brightness of about 14. It is a barred spiral, lowercase bc, so 2.5 times removed from lenticular, which means it's probably got a delta of about 0.7 magnitudes between its blue-violet and its visual light spectrum. 70 million light years distant puts it at about 50 to 60,000 light years in diameter. Now look at that one. Would you agree with me that it has an angularity around it? It is a spiral with a capital B, which means it has 2 spiral arms, and they're completely wrapped around. It's hugging itself at its waist. And yes, it has a ring. So here is our 150x view of NGC 6814, a splendid galaxy, despite being minus 10 degrees, 19 minutes, 26 seconds, with a right ascension of 19 hours, 42 minutes, and 40 seconds. This is NGC 6823, nebula and open cluster in Vulpecula. Magnitude 7.1, 12 arc minutes in size, some 30 stars, magnitude 8.8 at the brightest. It's a class 1, so it's quite distinct from the background, Roman numeral 1, but 3. There's a lot of disparity in the brightness of the stars, which means it probably is a relatively young open cluster because the bright progenitor stars are still quite bright. Right ascension 194309 with a declination of plus 23 degrees 18 minutes. All right, everything we're seeing now is post-culminatory. This one is a very beautiful, spectacular view of an edge-on galaxy. NGC 6835 is a galaxy in Sagittarius, magnitude 12.5, 2.4 by 0.7 arc minutes, means it's about 3.5 to 1 aspect ratio. Now, we're seeing it very edgy on. It's a spiral with a capital B, or bar, and a lowercase a. So apparently they've determined that it has only 2 spiral arms. And I don't know how they did that from this angle, but maybe something with long-term exposures they did, or a space telescope. Lowercase a means it's only one time removed from lenticular, fairly mature galaxy. Probably has an BV delta of about 0.9. 71 million light years distant, which at about, let's say, 50,000 light years in diameter. We should do some zoomage on it. There is also a fainter echo of a galaxy located in the same field. This one is 12.5. This one's probably somewhere around magnitude 14 and less mature. Let's push it up now to about 120x. Both views brighten because we're using more pixels in the CCD imager, and 150x for our final view of a very nice edge-on galaxy, NGC 6835, right ascension 1954.32, declination minus 1234.03. 6836 is another galaxy in Sagittarius, magnitude 12.9, 1.7 by 1.5 arc minutes, spiral with a bar, but lowercase m. Have to look that one up. 72 million light years distant, right ascension 1954.40 with a declination of minus 1241.16. It does tell us that this galaxy is east of that one. So this is our east, this is our west, north, and our south. This is a bright globular cluster, NGC 6838 in Sagittarius. It's Messier 71, 8.3 arc minutes. Magnitude 8.3, 6.1 arc minutes in size. I hope that satellite got a nice view of the globular cluster. Brightest stars are magnitude 12.1. It's 12,000 light years distant. Right ascension 1953.46 with a declination of plus 1846.41. 6842 planetary nebula Vulpecula, magnitude 13.1, 53 by 48 arc seconds, with a magnitude 14.5 central star, 4,500 light years distant, RA 1955.02, dec plus 29 degrees, 17 minutes, 20 seconds. Very ghostly. Here is our face-on planetary with its 14.5 magnitude central star, looking a bit faintly there, isn't it? Here's our 300x view. I did sharpen the stars a little bit, but you can't tell at high magnifications. Our 240x view. Our 150x view. Things are looking a little tighter there. Back down to 90x, which is a really nice view because it just fills out the field of view. Moving on. All right, once again, the graveyard of stars. This is a planetary nebula in a quill of the Eagle, NGC 6852. Brightish, magnitude 11.4, 28 arc seconds in size. Has a magnitude 17.9 central star, 8,900 light years distant. Right ascension 20 hours, 39 minutes. So we've crossed the 20-hour mark. And a declination of plus 1 degree, 43 minutes, 41 seconds. This is our view. We are seeing the central star. Let's see what magnification I ended up at. Well, let's go to our 240x view. Here's our central star. There's some other bright objects in the way. We're at right ascension 20, as I said, 20 hours at this point, so moving on. All right, this is one we cannot afford to skip. A 10-second view and a very good night of seeing of the Dumbbell Planetary in Vulpecula. That's also known as NGC 6853. Its magnitude 7.3, very large, 480 by 340 arc seconds. Divide that by 60 and you get something like 8 by 5. It's got a magnitude 14.1 central star, quite obvious there. 860 light years distant, which explains its size. Right ascension 1959.36, plus 22 degrees, 43 minutes, 15 seconds. Don't think I need to push the magnification any more than 90x. Oh, I didn't get far, did I? Here we have another nebula. It's just described as a nebula, not as a planetary. Maybe it's in the early phase of nebulation. It's in Cygnus, magnitude 11.4, a mere 0.8 arc minutes in size, magnitude 14.3 central star. It's described as an emissive. Right ascension 200148, declination plus 33, 31, 33. Here we have a galaxy in Aquila, NGC 6865, magnitude 14.6, 0.8 by 0.6 arc minutes, quite apparent. It's probably around 13.8 in visual. Lenticular spiral, it's got a bright central core, 218 million light years distant, probably about 50,000 light years in diameter. It's at 20 hours, 5 minutes, 56 seconds, and it has a declination of minus 9 degrees, 2 minutes, and 28 seconds. This is NGC 6883. It's at 20 hours, 11 minutes, 19 seconds, plus 35 degrees, 51 minutes. No seconds in Cygnus. I'm just going to add that information just because it's so peculiar to see it. Well, anybody who's been following this imaging series, even when I had the Rev 2 system and now the ZWO, knows that this is the Crescent Nebula, NGC 6888. I've imaged it numerous times. It is obviously a blowout. There's supposed to be a Wolf-Rayet star here somewhere, and I think they actually have rather explosive they explode regularly, and this is probably a serious explosion of star material going out in the distance. 6888 is a nebula in Cygnus, magnitude 10, 20 by 10 arc minutes, elliptic. It's an emissive type, 4,800 light years distant. Right ascension 2012-06 with a declination of plus 38 minutes, 38 degrees, 21 minutes, 17 seconds. Ooh, jump through the hoop. That's a sweetie. NGC 6894 is a planetary in Cygnus. Magnitude 14.4. Boy, this would be a tough one to pick up in anything less than maybe a 12 to 15 inch telescope. 44 by 39 arc seconds in size with a magnitude 18.3 central star. That's not it, but there it is. This must be a great night of seeing. Of course, this planetary is nearly overhead. Fantastic view. Look at that ring. Ah, beautiful. 5,400 light years distant with a right ascension of 20 hours, 16 minutes, 23 seconds, and a northerly declination of plus 30 degrees, 33 minutes, 54 seconds. I am blown away by that magnitude central star. Of course, that could be a photographic magnitude. Let's take this all the way up to 300x, drop down to full resolution magnification for a 6-inch scope of 240 with the ZWO system, pushing it back to 150x, which gives probably the best highest magnitude views that show stars that look relatively decent if focused, and then back to our 30% view, which is about 90x, which captures the whole field of view, losing only a little bit to the top and the bottom. And then finally, we are back to 60x. What a nice hoop to jump through. Okay, what we're seeing here is NGC 6897. I selected it because it's a galaxy in Capricornus. We'll do a little zoomage on it, put it in the middle of the field. Oh, it's got a neighbor too, a brighter neighbor. Magnitude 15, 0.9 by 0.5 arc minutes in size, spiral with a lowercase bc, so fully developed spiral, more than 2 spiral arms, but 2.5 times removed from lenticular. 244 million light years distant, gives it a size of about 70,000 light years. Right ascension is 2101. Declination is minus 12 degrees, 15 minutes and 17 seconds. This galaxy here lies north and east, so it would probably be our next study, but let's see if it's in the 68 to 6900 series. That was, in fact, our next galaxy, NGC 6898. It's in Capricornus, magnitude 14, or probably less, 1.2 by 0.7. Spiral with a lowercase a, so close to lenticular, 255 million light years distant, probably about 90,000 light years in diameter. RA 202108, declination minus 122132. I'm now 24 minutes into this video. I had to cut out a few things, but we pushed the limits on this one. This and this galaxy, these two galaxies, shall be our Carpe Noctem view with some interesting asterisms as well. Carpe Noctem.